Having seen the first season of The House of the Dragon, we're super impatient to see where the story will go next. While we wait, we haven't got much to do but simply talk about all that went down in the show so far. In this video, we'll talk about 10 of the most glaring plot holes we found in Season 1 that we feel need to be fixed in the upcoming series. Let's dive in, starting with the secret prophecy at number 10. We all know how much the good people in the Game of Thrones universe rely on essential people's dreams. That's why the Song of Ice and Fire is so important. It's one of those dreams that have almost taken on the significance of a vision. This dream made Rhaenyra accept the great responsibility of the crown, and it also persuaded Alicent that Aegon was destined to rule. Both are totally sure that they're doing the right thing and are also going above and beyond in their duty to their kingdom. The prophecies meant to unite Westeros to defend against the White Walkers. How could it not be taken super seriously? But if it's so crucial to the future and their history, why is the prophecy always kept secret? Why is it told in clarity to only the heir? The Targaryen heir should know, but why not others who'd be able to guide things so that it comes true? Why is it so hush-hush that even the king's very own brother, Daemon, is totally in the dark? What's it all meant to accomplish? Looking at you, Season 2, we want answers. Next up at number 9 is the entire absence of Starks. So, the Targaryen king and the heirs always aware of the prophecy, right? And they're the ones primarily overseeing the realm, too. A part of their duty is actually to have things in place so that the defense against the enemy of the future is guaranteed. They want to keep their fire in power, and the winter's coming. Knowing that it's going to be an issue in the future, why are there no marriages to the Starks? Because that way the Targaryens could have a strategic hold over the lands that their enemy's supposed to emerge from. The first known Targaryen and Stark marriage is the union of Lyanna and Rhaegar. It just makes no sense why the Starks are kept out when the prophecy's so essential. Further up at number 8, it's the question of Laenor's dragon. Dragons and dragon riders are totally bound to each other in all aspects. It's a bond for life. So long as the dragon rider's alive, their dragon is totally not up for grabs. Laenor's sea smoke is a great majestic beast. It showed up several times and was an important player in the battles. The dragon was battle tested, as we know from its fantastic appearance in the crab feeder fight. So when Laenor's exiled, it's not possible that someone else could claim his dragon, right? Because he's still alive as far as we know. Then why does Daemon count sea smoke in the number of dragons at Dragonstone? Sea smoke's without a rider. So Season 2 needs to give us some explanations. Is Laenor alive, or does Daemon know something we don't know? Because Daemon knows of the dragon bond, so why'd he assume a thing like that? Moving on, it's dragons showing up totally stealthily at number 7. Guys, dragons are huge. It's pretty impossible for a dragon to move around without being heard. How is it then that dragons always end up surprising people in battles in the House of the Dragon? It was a total shock when Sea Smoke came to the battlefield against Crabfeeder. It appeared out of nowhere, just felt too staged. Also, when the colossal beast Vhagar snuck up on Arrax and Luke, that was almost ridiculous. Season 2 needs to show the dragons for what they are, unmissable giant lizards that make horrible noises. They're not James Bond. Another aspect of this issue is that we rarely see dragon riders bonding with their dragons, or simply even hanging out. We saw Daenerys do that at times, but in Season 1, dragons are just quietly present at tense moments. The kids whose dragons haven't hatched are super worried, but everyone who's got a dragon is just kind of indifferent. Or at least, we didn't get to see a bond in that way. We're just told there is one. Up next, number 6 is Rhaenyra being called the Queen of the Rhoynar. Dorne's a big part of Westeros, but it's not really included in the 7 kingdoms present in the House of the Dragon. In fact, Aegon the Conqueror was unable to conquer the Great Kingdom. It was actually Daeron, the second, who managed to finally include it in the 7 kingdoms. He did that through marriage, which took place a good while after Rhaenyra's coronation. So during Season 1, Dorne isn't a part of Aegon's or Rhaenyra's kingdom. This is why it was weird when Rhaenyra was called the Queen of the Rhoynar. It felt like a glitch in the timeline. Most people of this ethnic group are actually inhabitants of Dorne. So going forward, Season 2's gotta get its titles all sorted out. What's more, at number 5, it's Criston Cole's death-defying powers. Yeah, we liked Sir Criston early in the show. Seemed like a noble and brave gentleman. Boy, were we wrong. Keeping in mind what he went on to do in the show, how's he still wielding his sword? He should be in the ground or in a cell at best. First, he broke his vows and slept with Rhaenyra. This action needed to have some consequences, especially since the info made it all the way to the Queen. How's he still in the Kingsguard after that? Second, this is a man who created absolute chaos at Rhaenyra and Laenor's wedding. He murdered someone in front of a whole crowd, and not just anyone, a knight. And what's so frustrating is that no reason for the murder is shared. Okay, so fine, he's Kingsguard, but Joffrey wasn't exactly a nobody either. either. He was a bannerman of the new prince consort, and also his lover. He was serving one of the wealthiest families in the entire realm. This is probably a plot hole that bugs us the most, because Cole continues to be a significant player on the political scene. And it's not like he goes quiet after wreaking all that havoc. He's just there, serving the queen, training the princes. Unbelievable. Explanation please, season 2. Now for number 4, which is Alicent completely not using spies. Alicent Hightower always had an interest in what Rhaenyra does. After all, her children's right to the throne could be influenced by her. But even though Alicent's the queen and has considerable power, she just doesn't use spies to get information on her former close friend. When it became an issue of illegitimate heirs, Alicent was super frustrated that she just didn't have the proof to make Viserys realize. The only way to convince someone of something they can't believe is to give them proof. Why doesn't Alicent keep an eye on Rhaenyra's activities? She would have gathered the necessary information by having someone watch the heir. Why not do it? After all, her father's a spy master too. She's following his advice to protect the children from the time of succession. But why hasn't she yet learned her father's ways? He would have had eyes on Rhaenyra at all times. Season 2 should clarify why Alicent's not relying on spies. Further up, number 3 is the nature of the prophecy. Now, we're all aware of how the prophecy pans out. Even though previous Targaryen dreams have come to fruition, like Valeria's destruction, Game of Thrones showed us that Aegon's prophecy didn't really come to pass. So we need to know just how much of the prophecy is true. Because from what we know, the realm was definitely not united when the White Walkers came. And technically, a Targaryen wasn't even commanding the Westeros forces. Jon was upset with a dragon, Daenerys was tackling death, and a Stark stepped up and delivered the final blow to the White Walkers while our hearts burned at how it all went down at the end. Now, since the prophecies kept so secret, it wasn't likely that many would know about it. Still, Season 2 needs to give us some answers as to why the prophecy's so serious when it turns out false. Moving on, number 2 is the lack of preparation for the White Walkers. Since the Targaryens are threatened from the north, why are they not more present at the Wall? It seemed they just never did anything to prepare. Why is that place not essential to the story? Some strategic movement in that direction should be happening. They're ready to go to civil war, but not the Wall for the sake of the prophecy. Answer Season 2. Finishing up with number 1, which is Aemon underestimating Vhagar. Many dragon riders are afraid that their dragons can't be entirely controlled. Viserys and Luke knew, yet Aemon didn't seem to know that his dragon might not be under his control. He seemed totally surprised when Vhagar leapt at Luke and Arrax. After years with his dragon, how could Aemon not know? Season 2 must show us how dragons can be tamed but not controlled. That's all for today from our side. Which of these plot holes was the absolute worst in your opinion? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Goodbye for now, and see you in the next one.